Henry's my favorite person on this season so far. I confess. I just the way he like lays out his case when he does, it's like a lawyer that has like, it's great. It's really great. And he's got like receipts and dates, and I really enjoyed him this season. But when he started explaining that like on the wedding day, I was told that she had a very toxic relationship with a married man for 5 years. And like, if you knew that from the wedding day, you weren't in this. And I always struggle with this in general with the season, because you do want to give the person the benefit of the doubt, and you do want to see if it's going to work. And you're in a marriage, so you want to see if it could work. But part of me also thinks, if you know that this is a big fundamental difference, why are you going through this? Call it off. Like I that's the one thing I would give Brett and Olivia credit for, once he realized this wasn't going to work, he called it off. Did he do it in the best way? No, but I think he knew at that point that there's no way this is going to work going forward. And my concern with Henry is he knew that very early from what we heard in the reunion episode, and still continued, which would then explain why it felt like Christina was trying a lot, because she didn't realize that there was no chance of this working out. And it just kind of all compounded, unfortunately.
And to feel, it sounds like I even felt it. It felt like Christina felt like she was getting like micro rejected a lot. Like, like he didn't call her pretty on the wedding day, which like, that's like a no brainer, right? If you see a bride, you're just supposed to be like, you're pretty. Like that's what you do. And he didn't do that.
That are babies.
And I just think,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Like your dog's cute. Your baby's cute. Like you just do that. But like he didn't. So I just think it was like these little micro, like, okay, wait, he's not responding to that. I mean, she said it pretty often that she didn't think he was attracted to her. He liked her. Like, so that could be happening. When you start feeling insecure in a relationship, you kind of can't get out of your head. So that could have been half of it too. Like she just couldn't get out of her thoughts. And then she was very aware of the cameras.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was then like double insecurity. Like this man doesn't really seem to like me. I'm on camera, like, and I think the thing about where she lives, that was interesting, because I actually lived with a flight attendant like when I was in grad school. This is a long time ago. But they are kind of weird about saying where they live, because they don't really like, she lived with me, but like not really. Like she paid rent like half a month. So I wonder if was a little bit of it too. Like she's like, I just met this person. I'm not going to explain like, well, I live in 3 different crash pads, but like keep stuff at my mom's. Like, so, and if they had communicated a little initially, maybe she could have cleared that up pretty quickly, but he held it. So like, I think that happened too. He held a lot, and then I did feel like he came down kind of hard on her, like you said, with like receipts. Like she couldn't have said anything back at the decision day. Like,
no, it's like case closed. Right. Like it's over. The judge is telling everyone to go home.
Yep. Yeah.
It seems like the main issue though is that, like you're saying, like if you're having a problem with your partner, if you don't talk about it, then it's going to come up later. And I don't necessarily think that as problems come up that it's bad to give it a minute to think about it and then bring it up later. Like that's something I do a lot, because sometimes I just can't handle it in the moment. I'm like, I need to think about how I'm going to talk about this. But it seems like Henry was just like, oh, here's a thing, noted it, and then was just like, that was it. There was no more parts of the process. Or like there was no chance for her to explain herself. There was no chance for her to explain why her stuff is all over the place. She doesn't really have an address because her work, it doesn't make sense to, or like the thing with her past relationship being so toxic, and it was with this married man. Like it sounds really complicated. Like that could have been a conversation like, hey, what happened there? I heard this. Like that sounds like a hard thing to go through. And then she could probably give the storyline of like, yeah, once that ended, I realized I needed something serious and wanted to like move on with my life with something that was healthy and stable and you know, have some experts take this decision out of my hands because I don't feel like I pair myself with people who are good for me.
Mhm.
That could have been like something that they moved on from and been like, cool, let's do this right. And like, I'll be that person for you. But they never got, like, they never talked about it. Like, it just never happened. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't give it a chance.